The Empress of Silence asterisk, with richer characters, more twists, and a dramatic arc. Set in the sleek, high-stakes world of luxury innovation, this tale follows a brilliant designer who must confront the cost of her betrayal. The Empress of Silence, a story of genius, greed, and ghosts on wheels. Part I. The Ascent. Hoa Karen's first impression of England was the fog, thick, silent, and unwelcoming. At 24, she arrived in London on a scholarship from her father's silent sacrifices in Vietnam. He had sold everything, the family rice paddy, her mother's heirloom silk, and even his prized vintage scooter, just so she could chase a dream no one else could see. And she saw it. An ultra-luxury car, silent as wind, elegant as water, infused with the soul of Southeast Asia. By the time she was 32, she had risen to become the youngest head designer in Rolls-Royce history. Her ascent was mythic. Studios across Munich, Dubai, and California whispered her name with awe and envy. But one sketch changed everything. Eli Stone was a curious anomaly in Goodwood, a half-American, half-Japanese intern with a mind for aesthetics and algorithms. He didn't talk much. People assumed he wasn't ambitious. But Hoa noticed his sketch. It was left behind on her desk one late night, drawn on the back of a napkin from the staff canteen. The car in the image looked otherworldly, angular, floating, minimal, like an electric cathedral on wheels. "I had a dream," he told her casually when she asked. It was gliding across water like a whisper. The name stuck. In her notebook, she scribbled, "Asterisk Project, Seraph Whisper. Vietnamese dragon meets silent innovation." Asterisk, but when the prototype design was presented to Rolls-Royce's private board 6 months later, only one name was credited: Hoa Karen. Eli disappeared from the company weeks later. The official story? Creative misalignment. Part 2. The Phantom Crown the Seraph was unveiled in Shanghai during a night so extravagant it made headlines for weeks. A car infused with lacquer, gold, and silence. Instead of a growl, it had a hum engineered to sound like falling rain on lotus leaves. Everyone bowed to Hoa Karen. She was awarded the Order of the British Empire, lauded in Forbes and Vogue, and knighted by industrialists as the Empress of Innovation. A private suite was built for her at Goodwood. She rode in the first Seraph across the Italian countryside with the King of Jordan. Still, some nights she dreamt of Eli's sketch. Not her version, the original. Raw, haunting, unfinished. Part 3. The return of the ghost 2 years later at a secretive gala in Singapore's Marina Bay Sands, where Rolls-Royce planned to unveil the Seraph's first successor. He appeared. Eli Stone. Not as an intern, but a guest. No name tag. No hesitation. She saw him sipping water at the infinity bar. Same quiet eyes. Now sharper. He approached her during the ballroom's intermission, where violins played renditions of Chopin. "You didn't think I'd let you have this night alone," he said. "What are you doing here?" she asked coldly. He showed her a phone screen. Stoneworks Automotive, an obscure Tokyo-based EV startup. Their launch announcement was scheduled in 12 hours. A luxury vehicle called Whisper, with a design nearly identical to Eli's original sketch. "This isn't over," he said. "It's just starting." Hoa returned to the gala, smiling, posing for photos, but her mind spun. That night, half of Rolls-Royce's investors received an anonymous email comparing the Seraph's blueprints to Stoneworks' patent filings. Part 4. Whispers in the Hall. 3 weeks later, whispers began at the Goodwood boardroom. A quiet internal audit. A leak. Someone at the Shanghai unveiling had recorded a private conversation hinting that Eli's design was a found gem polished by Hoa. She denied it. She called it sabotage, but the whispers grew louder. Stoneworks, backed by a shadowy tech billionaire and a former Rolls-Royce CTO, unveiled the Whisper One. It was quieter than the Seraph. Sleeker. It ran on a revolutionary solid-state battery. It sold out in 48 hours. A war was coming. Part V. Ghosts at midnight desperate. Hoa flew to Vietnam. She returned to her childhood village, where the whispers of her father's sacrifices still echoed in the wind through the bamboo. She met an old mentor, Mr. Ben, who reminded her of who she was before ambition took over. Hoa, he said, a lotus rises from the mud, but the mud does not define it. When she returned to England, the Serif's successor project had been quietly cancelled. Investors pulled back. A scandal was brewing. Then came the twist. Eli invited her to Tokyo. Part 6. The redemption game. He offered her something unexpected. Not revenge, not lawsuits, but a position. I don't want to destroy you, he said. I want to surpass you. But I can't do that without your mind, only without your pride. Stoneworks had the tech, but not her eye for soul. Eli admitted it. If you come clean publicly, I'll bring you in, not as a thief, but as a founder. It was a deal with the devil, or perhaps with karma. She agreed. A public confession, an open letter, a resignation from Rolls-Royce, and then a press conference. Astra Stoneworks Automotive welcomes co-founder Hoa Karen, creative visionary behind the new era of silent luxury. Asterisk. Epilogue. The Empress reborn 2 years later. The Whisper 2 was named Time's Innovation of the Year. Hoa stood beside Eli, no longer haunted by the ghost of a stolen sketch, but walking freely in the quiet storm she helped shape. And far away, in a dusty village in Vietnam, her father, sitting by an old, rusted scooter, watched her on television. He smiled. The Empress had returned.